Having your debt defaulted is never a good situation, but can the same debt be defaulted a second time? Let's look at the legality of a double default, how likely it is to happen, and what you should do if it does occur. So what is a defaulted debt? A default notice, also known as a notice of default, is a letter you receive from your creditor if you have broken the terms of a credit agreement. Your creditor will default a debt when they believe you won't be able to get back on track, and they'll give you at least 2 weeks to catch up on any missed payments. If you can't pay off the missed payments in time, your account will be defaulted. So what happens when you get a defaulted debt? Your creditor will usually ask you to pay the full amount of the debt instead of the previously agreed installments. However, you can ask to pay back in installments, but your creditor may not agree. Further actions a creditor can take include passing the debt on to a debt collection agency, taking court action, or applying to the courts to take back goods under a hire purchase, like taking back a car. But can the same debt be defaulted twice? Yes and no. Technically, you can only get one default per debt. But what can happen is the original creditor defaults your account before then selling or passing your debt over to a debt collection agency. If you fail to meet the criteria set out for you by the debt collection agency, they might default your account as well. While technically and legally you should only be able to get one default per debt, it appears from reports online that this tactic may actually be going on. What shall I do if my debt appears to be defaulted twice? If you find yourself in this situation where your debt has been defaulted twice, there are a few steps that you can take. First, you can take it up with the credit reference agency and the original creditor. The original creditor should then cancel the first default as it's no longer valid. You can also begin a Data Protection Act against the debt collection agency or raise your matter with the Information Commissioner's office. So while it's not meant to happen, it is possible to have the same debt defaulted twice. However, you have the right to ignore the error and refuse to continue payments until one of the defaults is negated. It's always far better to deal with your finances before things escalate to a default. If you're struggling with debt, then there are options available here in the UK. Some are free to use and others include fees, and each will have their own pros and cons. If you want to learn more about the solutions available, then we've created a really great form that you might be interested in checking out. Click the link in the description to get started and answer a few multiple choice questions like the total amount of your debt, how many people you owe, and your living situation, and we'll connect you with one of our trusted partners so that you can find out more and take steps towards improving your financial situation.